guys, today's a very special edition of my vlog. Today I'm bringing in another person and I'm going to interview them about a vegan travel book that they have coming out on December 1st. Her name is Caitlin Gaynor-Unti and she's the author of The Essential Vegan Travel Guide. Caitlin is a vegan food and travel writer living in Barcelona, Spain. She's traveled to 29 countries and counting and blogs about vegan food she finds around the world at theveganword.com, which has been featured on the New York Times and Yahoo. The Essential Vegan Travel Guide is her first book. Well, Caitlin, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to have you on today's vlog.
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
So real quick, before we jump into the book, which I'm really excited to talk a little bit more about, but let's talk a little bit about your vegan journey and then how that led to travel stuff.
So I've been vegetarian my whole life, and about 7 years ago, I started reading more about the treatment of animals in the dairy and egg industries as well, and that's when I decided I wanted to go vegan. But I was really scared that I wouldn't be able to eat cake until I got a copy of Vegan Cupcakes Take Over the World.
Nice.
And I realized you can have amazing vegan cake. Yes, I went vegan and I was already really in love with traveling, and I wasn't really sure, would it be possible to travel as a vegan, especially to certain countries? But I ended up discovering that it's actually really not that hard, and it's really enjoyable as well, and you meet amazing people. Like everywhere you go, you meet other vegans and you get to try interesting food that I think I wouldn't have had the opportunity to try if I weren't vegan.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So how much traveling have you done then in the last few years?
So in total I've been to 29 countries now, and most of those as a vegan. So I've been to countries in Europe, Asia, Central and South America, and it was possible to be vegan everywhere.
Yeah. Now, I did have the privilege of being able to take a look at your book that's coming out soon, which again we'll talk about in a minute, and I noticed that you named the top destinations for 2016 for vegan travelers. A few of them are definitely on my list, a few of them I've been to. So have you been to all of the ones that you have listed there?
I've been to most of them. There are a few that I haven't been to yet. I haven't been to Thailand, but I've heard amazing things about the vegan food there. So that's also one of my top destinations.
Cool, yeah, because I was wondering if that list was yours personally that you've created, or it was the result of doing research on like where vegans have been traveling or anticipated travels in the coming year.
Yeah, it was a mix of places that I've been really impressed with, like Taiwan, mixed with some ones that I've heard from other people are really great for vegan.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about the book then. So how long have you been working on it and when is it coming out?
Well, I've been working on the book for about 1.5 years now. I actually started writing it in the bathroom of an old job.
As all good stories begin.
And it is coming out on December 1st.
Nice. And just as a reminder, the name of Caitlin's book is The Essential Vegan Travel Guide. And what inspired you to want to put this together?
Well, I have some really amazing vegan guides, different countries and different cities, but I didn't see anything out there that was just a how-to book for people who've just gone vegan or who are just about to start traveling as a vegan that explains how to find good resources for vegans abroad, how to find the best restaurants, the best areas to visit. So I thought it would be really great for people who are interested in vegan travel to just have a basic how-to guide on how to travel as vegan.
Yeah, that's great because I feel like vegan travel is becoming such a hot thing lately, and not just seeking destinations, but those of us that are actually traveling for vegan food, which I might know a thing or two about. And so it's interesting to see how that's becoming almost a trend, and it's so exciting, and especially to have resources like what you're creating. And then, of course, in the back of your book, you name a bunch of other resources that people can use to find where to go. I also wanted to throw one out that I didn't see it in your list, but if for future reference, there's a great app called More Than Salad. It's relatively new, but they're really growing pretty quickly and hoping to have a worldwide presence. I think right now they mostly have resources and listings in the US, but it's a really cool app because you can add your own photos and you can search for food in restaurants by looking at photos of food that people have posted versus just kind of descriptions of things. So it's really cool. So if you haven't checked it out yet, More Than Salad is really great. So for someone that wants to finally dive in and write that book that they've been thinking about, what is the best piece of advice that you can give them about finishing that book?
Just keep really, really organized and try and give yourself a deadline, because you can just keep writing it and rewriting it and rewriting it. And I found it was really helpful to sort of force myself to say to everyone I knew, right, I am going to finish the book by this date and I'm going to stick to it. And then I had to force myself to finish, because otherwise it's never going to be perfect. And there's so many times that you can rewrite it before you actually start to edit it and get it ready to publish. So you just need to pick a date and do it. But it was an amazing experience. I would definitely recommend it to people.
That's so funny, because I tell people don't write a book. It's terrible. Like, my advice is just don't do it. No, actually, that's not true at all. I do, for people that are really excited about working on a book, I do encourage them. But my experience was like, it was really, really difficult. It was really challenging. And I was also working on a memoir, so I had to like address things that I didn't know I hadn't yet addressed personally in terms of relationships in my life and things like that. So perhaps it was a little different, and I just never really enjoyed writing to begin with. So there's that element as well. But your advice is very good. Just keep going, pick an end date. You can make it happen. And are you self-published?
Yes. So
Cool.
I'm self-publishing it. It'll be available through my website as a PDF or on Amazon for Kindle or paperback.
Cool. And what is your website?
The website to get the book is vegantravelguide.launchrock.com. Or if you go to my blog, theveganword.com, there are also links on there to the Launchrock. And then when Amazon is up, that will be on there too.
Cool. I'll put links to those below this video as well. And one more thing, I just wanted to comment, because you had a listing of top 10, I believe it was, restaurants in the world, or rated top 10, and I noticed that number three is one of my all-time favorites that I just recently discovered, called Harvest at the Bindery in Portland, Oregon. Have you been to that place yet?
I haven't. I'm jealous.
It's so good. It's newish. It just opened, I feel like, within the last year or less. But a friend of mine had recommended it when I was in Portland a few weeks ago, and I'm so glad to see it on the list, because it truly is fantastic. So those of you watching, if you're going to Portland or you're planning to go, definitely get the brunch at Harvest at the Bindery in Portland, Oregon. It will blow your mind. All right, Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us today for the vlog. Any last words before we go?
Thanks so much for having me on. It was really great to speak to you.
You too. All right, have a good one.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
I hope that you enjoyed that interview with Caitlin. Thank you so much for watching, and please remember to eat well and travel often.